Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. I am your humble French tarot reader and the Goblin Marine. And today I wanted to start talking about tarot collection. Yes, it's finally time. These are some of my most requested videos since I've started my channel a few years back. And whilst these are kinds of videos that I absolutely adore watching, the prospect of making one myself always felt very overwhelming because let's be real, your girl has a lot of decks. I think last time I counted over 300. I've decluttered a lot since, I've also received a lot since, so I'm due for a count to be honest. And I've always deliberated between doing videos of tarot collection by theme. So like today we're going to be looking at all of my cute decks. I could be doing nature decks, mythology decks, etc, etc. Or I was debating doing longer tarot collection, maybe all of my mass market tarot decks, all of my indie tarot decks. These would probably be 2 to 3 hours long, and I love watching those kinds of videos from other people, and I definitely want to make those kinds of videos at some point. But right now, because of consistent chronic pain issues and health issues that I've been carrying since the beginning of the year especially, I have very limited spoons, so I thought I'd start by doing things by theme, so it's a little bit less work for me. Although I still have about 30 decks to present to you today, so this video is still going to be very long. It'll be less daunting than, trying to present to you 100 decks at once, for example. And eventually I can do epic tarot collection videos where I share with you everything, videos that are much longer that you can put in the background while you're working or while you're cooking, stuff like that, which is what I like to do with videos from my fellow tarot tubers. And why did I want to start by sharing some cute decks? Because right now, let's be real, the world is a dark and moody place. It feels like there's not much joy going around at this moment in time. And so this year I've felt myself really called to using my cute decks more than previous year. I found myself acquiring more cute decks than previous year, I think, as a way to find whimsy, joy. So we'd start with that to bring you guys a little bit of joy, a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of magic. We are gonna have tarot, oracle, Lenormand, we have mass market, and we have indie. I will not have space in the description box to put all the names of the decks. There's too many. What I'll do is that I will make sure to write when I present a deck the name in the screen, so you can take a screenshot and do your own research. We'll try and break things between mass market and indie at least, so that's the best I can do right now. And of course, if you're new here, I want to say a huge welcome. In the description box, you will find the link to my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul Readings, where I actually put all of these decks to good use. This is where I do pick a pile reading, monthly guidance, and where you can see all of these decks being used. You'll also find my Instagram page where you can hang out with me if you want, where I share more day-to-day stuff. We'll be making a playlist of all of my collection videos, so eventually you will be able to find all those videos there. So make yourself comfortable, get ready to hear me say cute 50,000 times, and without further ado, let's get into this. We have my latest little hero keeping us company. It's so cute. The name of this one is called Back Off, and honestly, it's a mood. He's there watching over us. For this video, we're gonna start with Lenormand and Oracle decks, as this is what I have the least amount of in the cute category. I definitely have a lot more tarot decks than Oracle and Lenormand, so let's get into it. The two Lenormand I wanted to mention that fit in my cute category are both by Logan. We have the Precious Possum Lenormand and we have the Lilac Lenormand. These are indie decks. They are both by Logan or Lark and Legend. You can find them on YouTube, as they have their own channel where they present their decks and some other decks. They are an awesome creator. Definitely go and support them. For the Lilac Lenormand, first of all, we have these adorable backs. The sides are lilac matte, and as a lot of decks from Logan, it's very pop culture inspired, video game inspired. There are some reference to Zelda, to Sailor Moon, and if you are looking for a cute Lenormand, this is absolutely it. It's not threatening in any way, even though Lenormand sometimes can feel a little bit scary as a system. This one is absolutely super approachable, easy to use. The guidebooks from Logan are fantastic. They are great places to start. They have helped me immensely getting more comfortable with using using this particular system, and this one is absolutely a joy. I mean, look, we have a Tamagotchi. What more do you want? The people's cards are actually drawn as players with like Switch Joy-Cons, which I think is absolutely genius. Like I said, Logan's decks are indie decks, and you can find them on their Etsy shop. The other Lenormand deck I have from Logan, which is actually my favorite one, is the Precious Possum Lenormand. And you guys, this is just so cute, right? If we're talking about cute decks, in this case Lenormand, we can't not talk about the Precious Possum. Possums give goblin energy massively, and I am a big chaotic deck goblin, as you guys know. So, I mean, this is a match made in heaven, right? This is just so joyful. This is actually my go-to Lenormand. It's been my go-to Lenormand throughout the year. I'm not super comfortable still using this particular system, but this has been the one I've been using the most when I feel like getting into Lenormand. I adore these little creatures. It's just a lot of fun. It's cheeky, it's joyful, and again, as with all of Logan's decks, the guidebook is fantastic. It really tells you how to approach the system, helps you get familiar with it. The cards don't feel threatening at all. It feels very approachable. There's been some renamings that are making these decks, I think, a little bit more approachable, and I just adore these little critters. I mean, look how cute, right? This is absolutely falling into the cute category, so I wanted to share this one for my Lenormand lovers. I also love that Logan gives us lots of choices when it comes to people cards. So we had a drag queen possum, we have a blind possum. I love the disability representation. We have definitely a few choices I'll share with you. We also have a Sailor Moon inspired possum. We have a kind of like a teacher. There's this one that's giving a little bit more anime, and then there's this mermaid one. You get lots of choices to make the deck your own, which I love. And again, these are by Logan Townsend or Lark and Legends on YouTube and on Etsy. Let's continue with Oracle decks. Let's start with one of my more recent acquisitions, I would say, the Alchemy of the Spirit Oracle deck. This is a mass market deck by Christina Gonzalez, and this is a deck that represents places and animals. I think the artwork in this one is absolutely adorable, which is mostly why I decided to purchase it at the time. Here are the backs. Absolutely gorgeous. We don't have any sides. I should really do the edges for this one. I need to at some point. So this one is divided into 3 categories. We have places such as the cliff, we have animals, here you have the owl, and we have objects. So you have different categories, 3 different categories of cards that you can separate or mix in. This one, I love the art style. I absolutely adore the colors. I think the animals particularly are super cute. I mean, look at this chubby bear, you know, it's adorable. The guidebook sometimes doesn't quite make sense to me, so I've ended up using this a lot more intuitively. I'm not saying the guidebook is bad at all. I'm just saying that sometimes I don't see the connection between the object or the place with the author's interpretation. But as always, for me, you know, all of these things are very intuitive and personal. If you don't agree or you don't connect with an interpretation, you're very welcome to make your own, I think. Anyway, that's my belief, you know, you're meant to use Oracle decks the way that you see fit and use them intuitively that speaks to you, which is what I've ended up doing. On all of the cards, you're going to see there is a little cat, which is supposed to represent our ego self, which is adorable. And this has been a joy to use. I really adore the colors, the pink, turquoise, purple. I adore the fact that we have 3 different categories. Again, I've used this one mostly intuitively. I've ended up making my own meanings with this one, which has worked really well for me. We need to find the others. I'm always sharing you guys well, there you go. This is my favorite card. Come on, how cute is this? I can't, they're so cute. Adorable. This, you know, I saw this card when I was looking at this deck and I was like, okay, add to cart. I can't resist. This is too sweet. That is the Alchemy of Spirit Oracle. Let's continue. I cannot talk about cute decks without mentioning this absolute serotonin boost that is l'Oracle Disney. This is a French mass market deck. If you guys couldn't tell by my heavy froggy accent, I am French. I live on a French island, tropical island called Reunion. So all the decks that I get here, mass market, are in French. This is a French creation by Hachette Edition. We have 40 cards in this one. And as the name suggests, this is a deck inspired by Disney. Of course, Disney is super cute. So here are the backs of this one. We have silver edging, and this is a fantastic oracle deck, you guys. And whilst it's absolutely adorable, obviously, because it is inspired by a Disney character, and you might think, oh, this is going to be very cutesy and maybe a little bit gimmicky, this actually slaps, because the people who have created this have linked all the Disney characters with more so, I would say, divination / fortune telling kind of meanings. So this one is actually great when you want to find out what's going to happen. I don't know, you have a job interview, you have a date, you are trying to find out what's going on at work, you need an answer about an email you have to send, whatever it is. This will tell you exactly what you need to know. It's a very fortune telling / divination forward deck, which paired with such cute looking imagery is something really unique, right? So I really appreciate that. I think this is extremely smart. They've done the link between the characters and the kind of message that you get in the guidebook or on the card. The way that they've thought about it, it makes a lot of sense. So here, for example, for Zootopia, it's linked to ferocious determination, which makes so much sense if you've seen the movie. This is a pure love. For Baby, we have a beautiful friendship. For Beauty and the Beast, it says open up your mind. I love that. For Lilo and Stitch, it says a decisive meeting. So cute. For Pinocchio, it says a hidden truth. For Robin Hood, we have a need for justice. So not only is this cute, but it's also really smart. Obviously, it's all in French, as this is a French creation. But the guidebook, I think, fairly easy to translate if you need to, as there's not a ton of text, and it's definitely text that feels very easy to translate. There's not like difficult words in there. This is a deck I've absolutely adored this year, actually, and I would not be surprised if it ends up in my favorites of the year. Continuing in the Oracle deck, this is the only indie Oracle deck I have to present to you guys. We have the Everybody's Oracle by Sarah Kathleen. I got this one on Kickstarter, but you can get this directly from the creator on her website. I have the matching tarot, which I'll present to you in the tarot category. I don't remember how many cards there is in this one, but if I had to guess, I would say between 40 and 50. Here are the backs, and you're gonna see Sarah Kathleen's art style is very recognizable, and it is absolutely adorable. This is another strong favorite this year. I've used it a lot. This one is one where I rely quite heavily on the guidebook because I really like what Sarah has written there. It feels like a very healing, self-empowering kind of personal development oracle, this one. Whilst the Disney one felt very much tailored towards fortune telling and divination, this one is a lot more tailored towards personal development, getting those kind of messages, you know, that are a little bit about empowering yourself, about self-healing, about meeting your inner child, things like that. So different vibes completely, absolutely adorable art style. I love the variety of keywords in this one. I love the colors. I love the childlike quality to the art style, which is just adorable. I mean, this is just too cute, right? And whilst this is a cute deck, it is still a heavy hitter, which is very important to me, and you're gonna see that repeated throughout this video. I love cute decks. I love when they bring me joy, but I still want my cute decks to feel balanced and to feel like they can, you know, tackle heavy themes, because life is not just joyful and happy. We all deal with shit, and when I go to my decks, I don't want to feel gaslit. I want my decks to admit when things are hard, whilst looking cute, to bring a little bit more joy and whimsy to my day. That's very important to me. Obviously, it's a very personal, right, thing. You might not want that. I personally really appreciate that. So actually, a lot of my tarot decks that are cute. Still, in the harder tarot cards will deliver, you know, the hard punches. I need that personally. It still tackles some important themes, some heavy themes, which I really appreciate, as that's life, right? Life is not just rainbows and butterflies. So I like this mix of heavy themes, important themes, deep themes with absolutely adorable art style. And if you guys are not familiar with this creator, I highly encourage you to check her out. A few fantastic decks. The guidebook is wonderful. Like I said, I rely heavily on it. For each of the cards, we have a full text, very healing, very kind, very gentle, and beautiful. Of course, we can't talk about cute decks without talking about one of the decks I've heard the most on my channel this year so far, The Little Frog's Guide to Self-Care by Mayboli Quay. This is a mass market deck. It comes with cards and a little wooden stand, which is somewhere around my room. It has 52 cards, so you can use it for every single week of the year. And as the name suggests, this is affirmation, but with adorable frogs. And what's not to love? Again, I was just talking to you guys about the importance for me of combining cute with still deep, profound themes. This is the epitome of that. You have this adorable frog with boots that are just a sleigh, and obviously the art style is adorable, but the affirmations are actually quite profound, healing, and will meet you where you are. We're not gaslighting you here. We're not pretending everything is rosy-dozy. This is not live, laugh, love. No, here we're talking about pain, about fear, whatever it is, right? For example, I'm worthy of safe and healthy relationships. I surround myself with people who really see me. We have, I will prioritize myself when I need to. We have, I will make sure that laughter is a priority in my life. So I love this mix of absolutely adorable, cute art style with impactful, profound, smart affirmation. This is one of my most used decks this year. I use it all the time for myself. I use it all the time to type readings when I'm reading for others. And I use it constantly on my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul Readings, to wrap up a reading, to give you guys like the mantra of the month, for example, your affirmation of the month. Gifted this to quite a few friends who absolutely adore it. Makes a wonderful gift, just a great creation. We love that one on this channel. It's perfect. Last affirmation before we move on to tarot is the Take What You Need affirmation deck by Danny DiPiero. Again, this is a mass market creation. How many in this one? I forgot. 56 cards, published by Andrew McMill Publishing. This is another one that I've been using nonstop. I love affirmation decks, you guys. If you watch my readings channel, you know that. I always love to finish my readings with a little affirmation that you guys can take with you. Personally, in my own readings, I love to pull a little affirmation card. Every time I'm doing a bigger tarot spread for myself, I like to wrap it up with an affirmation. I love to send my friends a little one for the day. You know, if they need a little boost or something, I'll pull a little affirmation card for them just to give them a little bit of courage or a good vibes for their day. And this is one of my favorites. I got it this year and I have zero regrets. This one goes really well with all of my modern kind of tarot decks, as you can see, because the art style very much reference day-to-day things that feel very relevant to a modern day. So this one goes well with your like light years, with the unfolding path, with my Kitty Kahani, and all of my kind of more the fifth spirit, even all of my more modern decks. This one goes beautiful with. I love the art style. I actually followed this artist on Instagram before I discovered she had an oracle deck, and I'm really happy that they have created this mass market because it's beautiful. Again, makes for a wonderful gift, and it has a good variety of themes and always rings true. So if you guys are looking for an affordable, colorful, cute affirmation deck, I think this is another fantastic one. And so that's the Take What You Need oracle. The artist on Instagram is at Positively Present if you want to see their art. I personally really adore all of their art style, and I love these backs. They are so cute. Okay, let's move on to tarot decks, specifically mass market tarot decks, and then I will leave indie tarot decks last, as this is what I have the most of for this cute category. Let's start with the Once Upon a Time Tarot. This is a Los Carabeo creation by Ilaria Fossi and Caroline Eskenazi. I'm gonna remove Inoro because it's trying to do the focus on him. So sorry, little guy, you're gonna have to watch from afar. Okay, have a lot of fairy tale decks. I'll probably do a separate video sharing with you all of my fairy tale inspired decks, but this one is both fairy tale inspired and cute. With all of Los Carabeo decks, the guidebook is in different languages. You have English, Italian, Spanish, etc, etc. We have a couple of spreads in this one, and the guidebook does tell you who is represented in terms of fairy tales. So you, at least if you are not familiar with them, you can go and do your own research. Here are the backs. They are cute, but not my favorite, but they do represent the 4 different suits. So the 4 suits are actually set up in different fantasy land, and the major arcana represents fairy tales. So you're gonna see, for example, for strengths, we have Beauty and the Beast. So major arcana is all different kind of fairy tales, and then the 4 different suits are 4 different magical kind of world. For the ones you'll see, we have lots of little dragons. Here for the judgment card, we have the Pied Piper, you know, the guy who can like plays a flute and it calls the rats. I don't know how you call that in English. I read fairy tales as a child in French, so I'm not very good at remembering English names of fairy tales, but I think it's like the Pied Piper or something like that. For the swords, you're gonna see it's a lot of these little cutie pie fairies, and the pentacles is my favorite suit. It's these little gnomes for the pentacles, and they are adorable. They are the cutest suit. It's my favorite suit, the pentacles. They're just too cute. Cups, as I was mentioning, we will have mermaids, more like mermaids kind of inspiration. Fits into my fantasy collection, it fits into my fairy tale collection, and it fits into my cute collection, because come on, how cute is it, right? It's colorful, it's sweet, I really like it. I'm definitely gonna be doing a specific video for all of my fairy tale decks, as I have quite a few, and I'll share with you which one I use for what, and which ones are my favorite, etc, etc. But this one, as it's also cute, I wanted to share with you guys today. This is, I think, quite popular. I've seen it a lot this year, used by other people. I think a lot of us have enjoyed this one, so I'm sure you'll have seen it before, but I really enjoy it. Continuing with my mass market cute decks that also fit into my fantasy decks, we have the Steampunk Fairy Tarot by Llewellyn. This is created by Pamela Chen, illustrated by Ashley Cassidy. I got this one earlier this year, I think beginning of the year. I actually have edged my copy in this kind of bronze color. It doesn't come edged, and here are the backs, very steampunk inspired, obviously, as the name suggests. The guidebook is fantastic, as with all of Pamela Chen's guidebooks. She's a good writer when it comes to guidebooks. I think this would be a fantastic deck for beginners if you're looking for a deck to give to someone and they like fairies, or they like that steampunk era, and they need a great guidebook to go with their deck because they need a little bit of hand holding, maybe it's their first deck or whatever. This is a fantastic one. I would definitely recommend for beginners. Again, this is very fantasy inspired, so it could have fit into my fantasy decks, which is probably my largest collection when it comes to tarot and oracle decks. I love fantasy, one of my favorite kind of categories, but this is also very cute. I think we have, again, an interesting split for each of the suit. For the sword, we have more traditional fairies. Pentacles, again, can you tell? Just like the other one, pentacles are my favorite because we have these little gnomes and they are so camp and so cute. Like this little daddy, I can't. It's so fun. That mustache is a slay, honey. So I love the pentacle suit. And I think for the cups, let me find the cups. For the cups, again, we are underwater. It's this like water theme inspiration. And finally, for the wands, we again have dragons. So it's actually quite similar to the Once Upon a Time, except this one is fairies and the other one is fairy tales. But, you know, they are definitely, I would say, distant cousins right? Do you need both? Not really, but if you're a chaotic deck goblin like me, it doesn't matter. Not all of the cards are cute. Some of them look a little bit more serious, but overall, I would say it does give that little cutesy vibe, and especially this pentacle suit is adorable. What I also appreciate about this one is that it's my only fairy deck with different skin tones, which is something really rare when it comes to that reference fairies. A lot of the fairy decks are very like white presenting, and this one actually shows fairies with different skin tones, which I really love. Fun one, it's very RWS coded, so if you are familiar with the RWS, you will have no problem using this deck. It's a joy. Continuing with my cute mass market tarot deck, we have the Rainbow Tarot. This used to be an indie deck and it's been picked up mass market. It is now published by Chronicle Books. I love this one. I've used it a ton, especially like end of last year, beginning of this year when I was doing year ahead readings. I used this one a ton when people were asking for cute decks because it's super colorful and it's a joy to read with. So here are the backs. I love them. They're so fun, so colorful, absolutely adorable. Serotonin boost just when you look at it. We have hollow silver edges, and I think a lot of you will be familiar with this deck. Again, it's one I think is quite popular. The art style is very bright, bold, colorful, fun. As you can see, we have all kinds of different colors, which when you're doing a spread with this one really pops. This is a huge favorite, like I said, when I was doing paid readings earlier this year and people were wanting for a cute deck. It always delivered, and I think it's because of the bright colors and the kind of childlike drawings, which makes this one a very great versatile deck. This is a workhorse for me now. I use it quite a lot, mostly for reading for others. I don't tend to pull this one for myself anymore. I have other decks that I prefer for me, but if I want to read for someone, this is one of my go-tos now, just like the Lightseers or other decks of that nature. I actually need to bring it back out on the Waves of Your Soul Readings channel because I've not used for you guys in a while. But if you're looking for an affordable, colorful, bold, joyful, RWS coded deck, this is absolutely wonderful. Really happy that it was picked up mass market as it used to be indie. The guidebook is also really good, which I think would make this one a great one again for beginners. The same amount of text for minors and for majors. We have some interesting spreads in there. So again, this one would make a great beginner friendly deck or a great gift in my opinion, to add a little bit of sunshine to their tarot collection. Let's move on to another very popular one, I think, in terms of cute mass market tarot deck. It's the Kawaii Tarot. This was illustrated by Lulu Mayo. Again, mass market published by Rock Point. I don't know if I have any other thing by Rock Point, you guys, actually. I remember it was very affordable when I bought this. I think I paid like 10 euros for this, maybe even less at the time. And yet we have a proper hard box. It's not a tug box. We have a guidebook, which doesn't have as much as the other decks I presented to you, just a few sentences. But, you know, enough if you are familiar with the RWS, considering, again, this is very RWS inspired. Here are the backs. As the name suggests, this is very kawaii and adorable. This doesn't have any humans. It's only animals and creatures in this like kawaii style, and a lot of those animals are chubby, which in my opinion make them even cuter. And I adore this one, and this is another one that I know is very popular amongst us tarot lovers, and specifically people who like me enjoy cute decks, because like I said, it's very affordable, it's fun, and actually whilst it is quite, you know, inspired by RWS, it's definitely not a clone, so I like this one for it. It has some interesting interpretation when it comes to the card, and the main reason why I bought this deck, and I always mention that when I show this deck, is mostly because on one of the cards there's a lot of cheese, and I felt seen as a huge you know, stereotypical French cheese lover. You give me a tarot card with lots of cheese and I'm like, yep, take my money. That's mostly why I got this one. But look, I think it's very smart, right? With the Five of Swords, it is still giving that Five of Swords energy whilst it's cute. So I was telling you guys, I like that when a deck is cute, but it still tells you exactly what you need to know. Is the cheese. I want to find the cheese. We need to find the cheese card. There you go. Look at it! Oh, it's me. This is me in a card. I feel seen. Too much cheese, not enough lifetime to eat them all. That's me. But again, another one I've used a lot for other people that I don't use so often for myself anymore, but that every time I've used for other people, they have loved. This death card is fantastic. It's so cool. So that is the Kawaii Tarot. Let's move on because we still have a lot of decks to talk about. Moving on with still mass market tarot deck, the Tarot for All Ages. This is by Elizabeth Hadel and it was published by... Who published it? Lawrence King Publishing. Again, I don't think I have anything else from these guys. I will say the one thing I don't like about this one straight away is the cardstock. It bowed super fast, you guys. I've never had this issue before with other decks, but I've heard that this is not a me problem. I've had other people tell me they had issues with bowing on their particular copy. I don't know if you can tell, but it doesn't sit right. Not too bad, but it's when you put it down, it doesn't sit. I can literally move it like this, right? Which is super annoying when you use it. So beware, you might be lucky and get a better copy than me, but this is something that I've had other people complain about. Just beware that it's definitely gotten in the way of me enjoying this deck, and yet it's super cute and super clever, which is a shame. This one is as the name suggests, tarot for all ages, meant to be really interpreting tarot in a way that is accessible for all, no matter your age. And I think the work of specifically on the minors is really interesting. Concentrate the meaning of tarot into a simpler image, which is really smart, and you can tell a lot of intention was put into this deck. So it's just a shame about this cardstock that makes it a little bit hard to use. And we have some renamings for the court cards. You guys know that's not my favorite thing ever. One of those things that my brain just can't process. I don't know why, but I'm always struggling when there's renamings on the court cards. Something to be aware. That being said, I think the art style is adorable, beautiful, and especially the work on the minor arcana I think is really smart, because whilst it could feel pipish, it's not. It's like in between pip cards and fully illustrated, I would say, and it's really clever. So I appreciate this one. I really like the art style. I think it's whimsical, it's dreamlike. It has given me some interesting reading. Don't love the whole like bowing vibe, especially because right now I'm on a like surface of fabric, so it's not so bad, but if I'm on something flat, it's a little bit of a nightmare to read with. The guidebook is good. I think this carries its name well. We had some renamings as well for the majors to make the majors more understandable and approachable. So instead of the High Priestess, for example, we have the Dreamer. The major renaming are easy to understand, and even the minors, when even the court cards, when you use the deck more regularly, it's easy to get used to. I just have sometimes brain fart when it comes to court card, but that's a me problem, to be honest. Last mass market tarot deck we're gonna talk about, and then we'll move on to indie because I still have so many to share with you guys. I told you it's gonna be epic long video, right? This is the Tarot of the Magical Forest, and this was gifted to me by a lovely tarot friend, Sarb. If you're watching, I'm sending you so many hugs. This is by Lo Scarabeo, and I adore this one so much. I've been using it a lot, actually. It's a lot of fun. Here are the backs, quite iconic when it comes to Lo Scarabeo deck. I was always curious about this one, so I was so happy and grateful when my friend sent this over to me because it's so cute and also super fun. All the animals look traumatized and like they've seen some shit, right? They all look like they are absolutely going through the worst day of their life, and I can relate. Okay, this has been my go-to deck for the last few weeks because every single one of those animals that looks shocked, flabbergasted, completely like, what the fuck is going on, what am I doing here, is just so relatable to me. I feel seen, I can relate to these little guys. I was joking also with my friends that this is giving la boo-boo energy, and if you know, you know. But it's mostly those big eyes, right? It's like if you need something that will meet you where you are and you're in a mood where you're like, what the heck is going on? The thing about this one that really for me makes this deck so fun and great are those little traumatized looking animals, because come on, is a mood. If this is not all of us in 2025, every time we open the news or open our computer or social media, being like, wow, I didn't know this could get worse, but apparently it can. This is all of us. I think we can all relate. And that's why I love this one so much, especially lately. So it's both cute and fun, I think, this one. I know it's not going to be for everyone. Some people find it creepy, which I can completely understand. To me, it's super cute. My favorite one are the frogs, because I'm a French frog. And so, again, I feel seen. This is me and my friends. You know, just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And this Queen of Wands, again, that's me. Me core. That's my lore right there. So, yeah. If you ever wonder who's talking to you behind the camera, that's who. Hi. Great to read with, especially when you need something joyful that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's been fantastic to bring joy and whimsy and fun to my readings. I really adore it. I don't even know where to start because I am surrounded, you guys. There's decks everywhere. If you don't hear from me ever again, the pile of decks has fallen over, and you know what? It's not a bad way to die. Okay, let's start with the Playful Heart Tarot. This is an indie deck. I think I got my copy on Salon des Arcanes, which you'll see I get a lot of my decks from. So either for my indie decks, I get them directly from the creator's website or their Etsy page, or usually I get them from, if I can, if they are being stocked on Salon des Arcanes, I will get them on that. It's a French-based shop that stocks a lot of indie decks and that has fast shipping to where I live. So I think this one I got from Salon des Arcanes, but you can get it directly from Kid & Shop's website. You can see here kidandshops.com. I think the creator has done a Marseille deck as well. I think there's an Oracle deck as well. I only have this one, but I think the Marseille looks super cute. Look at the box. I don't know if I shared, but it's absolutely stunning. We have golden accents even inside. We have some extra cards, extra oracle cards, which are adorable, but you guys know I don't really use them. In my tarot decks, I don't really put oracle cards in tarot, but you can if you want. Here are the backs, which are so beautiful and, in my opinion, iconic. We have golden hollow sides, beautiful, of the cutest decks I own. It's colorful, it's joyful, and it's very childlike. I mean, it literally looks like, you know, children's drawing in the best way possible, of course. I'm saying that as a compliment. So it's adorable, but don't get fooled by this one, okay? This one comes with a warning, because whilst it's super cute and you're thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be so great, it's gonna be a cuddle deck. No, 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 at least not for me. This one has surprised me by how brutally honest it can get. It will tell you the tea, whether you are ready to hear it or not, which I think makes a great in a child deck if you're working through some heavy stuff, some potential trauma or things like that, right? It's not a cuddle deck to me. Again, this is a very personal interpretation. Please, take everything I say with a grain of salt. You might not have the same experience reading with the deck, but for me, every time I read with it, it feels very brutally honest in its voice, in the way it's like reading, more so than other cute decks I'll share with you. So I approach this one with caution, meaning I will only approach it if I'm ready to get bitch slapped. But with cuteness. It's like getting bitch slapped and then getting showered in glitter. You know, it makes it a little bit more palatable to hear the harsh truth. That being said, it's a fantastic reader and I adore the art style. I think it's so cute and really smart, and the more you use it, the more details you're gonna see, as there's a lot going on, right? There's all of those little guys with faces on them. There's a lot of little details in the card that always, every time you use it, you're gonna discover something else. Have this one, please let me know how, like your experience reading with it, because I'd love to know if it's a me thing that feels like this deck can be quite brutally honest, or if you have the same experience using this deck. To hear from you guys, let me know in the comments. But this is a very beloved deck in the community for good reason. It's adorable. I just approach mine with caution. And this one doesn't come with a guidebook in the box. I don't know if there's a PDF guidebook, I'm not sure. Moving on to another indie deck. I don't know if this one is still in print or out of print, I'm not sure, you guys. This is the Cookie Story Tarot by Destiny. I will say that most of Destiny decks seem to be going in and out of print. So even though this particular edition might not be still in print, because I got this one back in 2022, they do tend to bring their decks back out in new editions. So you might not be able to find this particular one, which I think was the first edition actually, but they might have since then released a new edition with potentially different books or different like backs, maybe different cardstock, I don't know. As the name suggests, the Cookie Story Tarot, this is a deck inspired by cookie people living their best life. And you know what? What's not to love? So here are the backs, absolutely adorable. We have gorgeous pink edges that are so cute deck, but also super fun because not only is it adorable presenting people that are cookie people, like made out of sugar and cookies and ice cream, it also references a lot of pop culture elements. So actually this will also be able to be added into my pop culture collection, which I need to film at some point as well. I have a lot of collection videos to film, you guys. But yeah, this one actually references a lot of pop culture. You'll see references to books and animes and movies, right? We have Alice here, Alice in Wonderland, for example. For the Queen of Pentacles, we actually have Queen Elizabeth. There's like some references to say, like here we have Sailor Moon, for example, for the Queen of Swords, but it's also smart. So I really enjoy this one. I've been using this ever since 2022 and it's been a constant for me. Mostly, I think I have used this for other people, but mostly for me. Whilst the other one I was presenting to you, it's mostly for others. This is one I tend to love for myself. And this is one that actually is quite nice in its way it's reading for me, right? It has a gentle voice, a little bit whimsical, very childlike and fun and sweet. So I do really appreciate it. For the Four of Wands, we have Frozen, the two girls from Frozen. We have the Addams Family, for example, for the Ten of Cups. It feels like a deck of Easter eggs. Every time you use it, you're going to recognize other people or their inspiration. So it's a lot of fun. It's both cute and sweet, but also smart and interesting and a little bit different. We have Toy Story here, for example. One of my favorite cards is the Queen of Wands with Cruella de Vil. I think she's fabulous. I also love Mario with this particular Pentacles card. It's super cool. So there's a lot of fun references in this one that I think are adorable. As with all of Destiny decks, there is no guidebook. We have a lot of extra cards like a certificate, a thank you card, but no guidebook. Let's continue with another indie deck. This is the Animal and Food Tarot by Maruko. I got this one on Etsy, so if you're looking for it, this is where I got mine. And so here is the name of the creators, Maruko Art. I don't know if they've done any other tarot decks, but if they ever do, I'd be curious to see because I really love this one. I love the art style. As the name suggests, Animal and Food Tarot, you're gonna see, is very much inspired by food and animal. Both two of my biggest passion in life. So when I saw this deck on Etsy, I couldn't resist. It was screaming my name. The guidebook is very simple. There's only sentences and I don't think it even references all of the cards. So that's the one thing. Guidebook is not great, but again, this is a very RWS coded kind of deck, so if you're familiar with that, you'll have no problem. And I personally bought this one for the art style, to be honest. I don't know if you can tell because of my massive orc hands, but this one is thinner and longer than others. That's what she said. Slightly different size from stereotypical tarot decks. Here are the backs. They're so cute. And yeah, this is one of my cutest decks, you guys. I absolutely think that this is, if we're talking about cute decks, this is in top 3 in my collection because not only is it referencing food, cute food that feels very much like things that I would see when I was watching animes. When I was a child, you know, those kind of like, you know, that kind of anime food that always looks so delicious. Not only is it representing that, it also showcases the most adorable animals. Like, I can't. Every time I use this deck, I squeal at how cute it is. For the swords, we have baguettes. Absolutely genius. For the pentacles, we have donuts. For the cups, we have these like sundae kind of cups. And for the wands, we have lollipops. So donuts, lollipops, sundae cups, and baguettes. How cute, right? This is so cute. I can't, you guys, I can't. I love this one so much. I use it a lot for myself, although I have used it as well for a couple of other people, but mostly for me. And if you couldn't tell before, we have golden details on each of the cards. So hopefully you can see here the little stars and stuff. So the production quality is beautiful, the art style is beautiful, and even the cardstock is really nice. We have golden details. It's an absolute joy, this one. This is one of my absolutely favorite decks when it comes to cute. There's not one card I don't like. It always makes me hungry. I have a huge sweet tooth. My moon is in Taurus. One of my favorite ways to handle any minor inconvenience is to get a snack. Like the way to my heart is through my stomach, you guys. If I get hungry, this is the only time I'm gonna get angry. It's like I can get really hangry. Usually if I don't eat enough, that's the only time I'm gonna have short temper. Otherwise, I'm a very patient person. So you just gotta keep me fed, which is obviously also linked to my chronic illness and me having to make sure I have enough fuel to deal with all the energy my body is spending. So yeah, snacks are the way to my heart, and this deck is just so cute. Look at this little chubby hamster. I cannot. It's too cute. The strength card, one of my favorite cards. Look at this bunny. You guys, how cute. I cannot. It's just so sweet. And I also wanted to share with you the 8 of Swords because I think this is adorable. This little bunny that got stuck in the rope. It's too cute. Moving on to the Lost Fairy Tarot. This one I got from Vermillon Collection, which is where I get a lot of my decks as well. And for indie decks, they actually are not the most expensive, I would say. Vermillon Collection decks tend to be between indie prices and mass market prices. So it depends on the decks, but they're definitely more expensive than mass market decks, but cheaper than other indie decks, if that makes sense. I'd say they're like middle ground. I have quite a lot of decks from Vermillon Collection in my tarot collection, and I will actually share with you all the ones I got in this cute category together, so you can find them if you want. The Lost Fairy Tarot, as you can see already from the box, is a fairy inspired deck, but not only is it a fairy deck, it's also a pixel / video game inspired deck. We have 2 extra cards, the Dreamland and the Lost Land. We don't have a guidebook, but this one is an RWS clone pretty much, so if you're familiar with that system again, you won't have any issue. Here are the backs of the card. Cardstock in this one is quite chunky, so I don't know if you'd be able to riffle shuffle if you guys like that, but it does feel like quite a chunky, substantial deck. This one is for all of my gamers at heart, specifically people who used to love gaming when they were children. If you, like me, had a Game Boy or a Sega Mega Drive, then this is a deck for you, right? This is giving nostalgia, 8-bit fantasy, and I adore it. I love that it's very inspired because, again, you know, I'm a huge fantasy lover, so anything a little bit magical and whimsical I love, but I also adore the art style, and this is one I've used a lot on my other channel actually. It's one, every time I offer it in the pickup pile, I've noticed that a lot of people pick this one because, I don't know, it seems to be attractive and like just, I don't know, there's something about it that I've noticed people are very attracted to. I think it's both the cute factor and the whimsy of it, right? Because it feels very magical, whimsical, nostalgic. And for those of us, again, who have been playing video games since we were children, this feels very familiar, feels very comfortable, feels like a safe place, if I can say that. For me, it reminds me of, you know, my Game Boy, playing the very first Pokemon, reminds me of Sega Mega Drive, my very first console. I'm still a gamer at heart. I love playing cozy games now. But there's something about this particular aesthetic that is so sweet and just comfortable. Like I was saying, it feels cozy. This is a very cozy deck. And I actually have another 8-bit inspired deck that I'm going to share with you in just a bit. So this is the fairy inspired one. So it's definitely more like fantasy inspired, as you can see. I absolutely adore the colors in this one. I think it's so beautiful. Oh, and the box is quite cool. I don't know if I shared with you guys, but it's one of those like sliding one. And the other video game inspired cute deck that I have is this one, the 8-bit Fantasy Tarot. Another one I got from Vermillon Collection website. This is one I'm not sure I'm gonna keep, so I'm still hesitating. I love the art style, but it's a little bit too small for me, which I didn't realize when I ordered it because I'm an impatient Aries, and sometimes when I see something and I think it's cute, I pay for it, I buy it without looking at the dimensions, which should really be a lesson. Let's be real. Because I have quite large hands, I tend to find tiny decks a little bit uncomfortable. But if you guys are looking for a small deck, this would be perfect for you. Between this one and the Lost Fairy, I tend to use the Lost Fairy more, which is why I'm not sure I'm going to keep this one eventually. I think I might end up putting it in a giveaway or giving it to a friend. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding. For now, I still have it. So here we go. I'm going to share it with you guys. This one is definitely more so RWS clone, but put through the 8-bit filter, right? Whilst the other deck I was sharing with you, the previous one, the Lost Fairy, it was a lot more fantasy inspired and whimsical and childlike. This one really is an RWS clone, very reminiscent to Pamela Coleman Smith's art style, but that looks like a 8-bit video game. So if you guys are looking for something like that, this is perfect. I don't know if this exists in normal size. If it did, I mean, you know, more regular size. If it did, that would be a lot more up my alley, because I love the art style. What I'm struggling with is that it's so small compared to my huge orc hands. Again, I'm struggling with it. And yet, I know small decks can be super helpful, especially if you're doing bigger spreads. But this one is a little bit more square. I don't know if you've seen that. So it's just a little bit uncomfortable to manipulate for me. And yet I think a lot of you guys would actually enjoy that. Still one I'm undecided on keeping. Oh, we had an extra card again, the Dreamland and the Lost Land. Just like the other deck, let me put that on the side. That is the 8-bit Fantasy Tarot. Again, I got mine on Vermillon Collection, but I think you can get it on Etsy. And the last deck I got from Vermillon Collection in this cute category is this one, the Sage Rabbit Tarot. Again, this is slightly smaller, but definitely still bigger than the 8-bit. So this is more, I would say, playing card size. With this one, we have a little guidebook, half in Chinese, half in English. We just have upward and reverse keywords, so very basic. Here are the backs. And as the name suggests, the Sage Rabbit Tarot, this is a rabbit deck. And it's just really sweet and beautiful and cute. So this is the main reason why I got this deck. When I saw it on the website, I saw those little bunnies. A lot of them have blush on the cheeks, and I was like, yep, I'm sold. Literally, they're just so cute. Look at this star card. And this is actually one I use a lot. I've surprised myself how much I use it. I literally just used it yesterday when I went to my friend's house because it's smaller, but it's not too small. So whilst I told you I struggle with tiny decks, this one feels more like playing card size, so it's great to shove in your handbag. And I literally just read this one yesterday for my friend. It was great. It reads beautifully. She loved the sweet rabbit vibe. We have obviously this like Chinese inspiration throughout, so I really enjoyed this one, and I think it's meant to be inspired by the Year of the Rabbit, if I'm not mistaken. And I have noticed that they on Vermillon Collection they had one for the Year of the Snake and the Year of the Dragon. So I don't know if they're gonna do all the Chinese astrological signs, but I think that would be pretty cool if they did. Anyway, easy to use, the colors are beautiful, a little bit muted, very sweet looking deck, and just those cute rabbits. Let's continue with my indie tarot decks. We have the Tarophona. Heads up, this is out of print, so if you're looking for it, you'll have to go on like trading websites, maybe eBay, things like that. But it's cute and it's in my collection, so I'm here to share it with you. This originally was created by Devin Strickler and Brittany Burkhardt, and this is one of my cutest decks in my opinion. We have some extra cards, so let's remove those. I love animal decks and I love cute decks, so when I saw this deck back in 2020 I think it was, or 2019, I can't remember, it was a no-brainer for me that I wanted it, and I'm so grateful I got it before it went out of print. Each of the suits represent different animals. For torches we have foxes, for shells we have otters, which is one of my favorite animals ever. For the pentacles we have bears, I think, and for the swords we have owls. This is set up in this forest, very beautiful, and all of the owls always remind me of this video game I played called Ori and the Will of the Wisp. It's a platformer, absolutely stunning, one of the most beautiful soundtrack when it comes to a game that I've ever played. Beautiful graphics, set in this magical forest, and it really reminds me of this deck. And I had such a good time playing that video game. It's always a good memory. I absolutely adore this Hierophant. I love nature, I love animal decks. When I do my animal collection, you guys will see I have a lot to share with you, but this one is definitely one of the cutest one. It reminds me also a lot of the books I was reading when I was a child. Also reminds me of an anime I was watching when I was a child, La Forêt des Bois de Katsu. If I have any French viewers here who remember this anime, it's giving very that, and I was obsessed when I was little with those, like with that anime. It was again following animals in the forest, and it was really sweet but also quite tragic. I think I remember it. Anyway, this is adorable. Sadly, it's now out of print. Moving on to the Witchy Magic Tarot by 12 Cats. You can, at the time when I bought this, I got it directly from 12 Cats. Both a cute deck and a fantasy inspired deck, so I'll share it again in my fantasy mini collection. It also absolutely falls into the cute category. It's really sweet. Here are the backs, and we have holo edging, like rainbow holo. This is a deck I tend to use quite a lot when I'm reading for others, specifically either looking for something magical, whimsical, cute, but also a little bit fantasy inspired and a little bit like witchy, right? As the name suggests, Witchy Magic Tarot. Here we have witches, creatures, magical creatures. Is this the cutest in terms of the most childlike deck I own? Not really. I don't think it's like cute in the sense of very childlike, but there is something about this one that reminds me of Disney characters, specifically the court card, right? That are actually giving that cute factor. Still fit in this cute collection, because to me it reads a little bit like Disney inspired somehow. I don't know if you guys can tell, if you agree. You'll see with the court cards, but some of the court cards remind me of Disney characters from different movies and stories. Why I've put it in this cute category. This is a really beautiful deck. If you guys like things that are whimsical, magical, fantasy inspired, and you're looking for something really colorful and joyful, this is fantastic. I like that the court card, we have not just young characters, but the kings are a little bit older. I like that some of the cards are a little bit more pepish, so it's a nice balance. This is not a very busy deck, even though it could feel, you might think it is from looking at the bright art style. It's not super busy. A lot of the court cards are a little bit more pepish, which I like sometimes. If I need a break from my brain, if I need to ground myself a little bit, but I still want something whimsical and fantasy based, this is one I tend to go to. And to read for other people, it's fantastic. I have this Page of Wands, she's so cute. I also love that we have different skin tones and ethnicity for a fantasy deck, something we don't always see, so I always appreciate when that's the case. Not a deck I see a lot of people showing and sharing, so I think it's a bit of an underrated one, this one, a bit of a hidden gem, and yet it's really great. The guidebook, actually, I forgot to say, is fantastic. So much going on, it's actually a little bit overwhelming because it's written in super small, and I have good eyesight, you guys. One of the few things that my body is doing okay is seeing. The rest, not so good, but seeing, I'm doing good. And yet, even for me, I struggle with how little it's written. And yet, it's a shame because there's so much for each of the cards. You have the keywords, you have general, love and relationship meaning, money and career, health and spirituality. And you have that for every single card, minor and major. So much to get into, fantastic content, but just written so small. You need one of those magnifying glass Sherlock Holmes style, you know, to make this a little bit more. Let's continue in the indie deck category with the Silver Acorn Tarot. This is one of the most expensive indie deck I ever bought. It comes from Canada, I think. Canada or the US. It's beautiful. I love it. I don't have any regrets. but it was a lot. It was very expensive. I think it's $80. And then on top of that, I had to pay a ton of tax and shipping. This is definitely not a cheap deck, you guys. Just be warned. I think this creator, who by the way is called Stephanie Buscema, is also creating a Lenormand, or has just released a Lenormand inspired by the same world. So for my Lenormand readers, you might want to check that out. And again, it's beautiful. I don't have any regrets. The production quality is gorgeous. We have this beautiful matte cover guidebook, full color, full text with symbolism explained, interpretation. The guidebook is written by Madame Pamita, who is very well known when it comes to writing books about tarot. And then when it comes to the cards are larger than your stereotypical cards. Definitely larger and a little bit longer, so just be warned. And we have linen cardstock. Here are the backs, which I think are so cute. I adore them. And this is for my spooky cute lovers, right? For the people who love cute, but also who love Halloween and that time of year. Spooky, but mostly cute. As in this one, we have a lot of black cats, we have a lot of pumpkins, we have bats, right? It feels a little bit Halloween inspired, but not so much that you wouldn't be able to use it all year long, to be honest, as the pentacle suit is like inspired by vegetables. I love it. It's my favorite suit. It's so cute. We look so sweet. I love it. I think we have a suit with cats. We have the sword suit is all birds. And then the cups are those little skeletons, which are adorable. So I adore this one. I think the art style is so precious. A joy. Like, this is one of my good mood decks this year. I have had so much fun using this one, mostly for myself. This hermit is everything. I adore it so much. I just love all the pumpkins. I love all the kitty cats. It's really beautiful. And this emperor, it's so sweet. Like I said, I think this creator has just released or is releasing a Lenormand, very much inspired by the same style. If she ever does an oracle deck, I would very tempted to pick it up because I adore this art style. I think it's beautiful. I think it's whimsical, it's magical, and it's so cute, which is the theme of this video, right? Look at this pair, Queen of Pentacles. She is adorable. That is the Silver Acorn Tarot, very special indie deck. Let's continue with the Bimit or Big Mice Tarot by Owl and Ezd. This was an indie deck I backed on Kickstarter last year. It ended up being one of my favorite decks of the year. If you watch my top 10 favorite decks of last year, you will see this ranked very high. This year, they did a second Kickstarter, still in this like super cute mice inspired world. Of course I backed it because I couldn't help myself. I adore this art style. So I don't know if this deck, the Bimit Tarot, is still available for purchase or not, but I know that these creators are working on a new deck. So even if you can't get this one, there should be a new one coming out very soon. That looks very similar. It's literally inspired by the same world. It represents similar mice, etc. Here are the backs. And this is a fantastic deck for people who enjoy world building, as this is set up in this whole world that the creators have invented with different tribes of those cute mice living in that world. Some of them are healers, some of them are fighters. We have a map that explains to you the different places where they live. It explains to you their enemies, as they are always having to defend themselves against foxes, except in this world they are not called foxes, they are called something else. But there's a whole world building, and on top of that, each of the characters represented has a name. When you read the guidebook, it will tell you what they're called. So there's been a lot of effort poured into this one when it comes to creating a very immersive world with characters, tribes, history, and tension, and just really cool background, which I think is fantastic. On top of that, it's so cute, you guys. Come on, look at it. I can't, it's too cute. So of course I have to share it in my cute video because it's adorable. Look at it, it's so sweet. So this is another one that will definitely be in my fantasy deck collection because it's very fantasy coded, right? We have this world where little mice are going on quests and adventures. Feels very like RPG almost. I use this one all the time. I ranked it so high last year. It was one of my favorite decks of the year. I still use it constantly for myself this year. It's a joy. This is one of those that whilst it's cute, it will still deliver a punch when it needs to, not sugarcoat the harder cards. So this judgment card I think is beautiful. We have, let's find another one. Look, this 8 of Swords, right? It's still poignant. You still feel the anguish that is associated with the 8 of Swords. The 3 of Swords, for example, is really sad. So whilst this is an adorable deck, it still really talks about grief, trauma, hardship, challenges, bravery, and I really appreciate it for that. I appreciate that these little guys are so brave, have to fight for a better life, and they give us that bravery that we might need in our day-to-day, right? They inspire us to be strong as well and to face challenges, get through another day. So I adore this one so much. I'm super excited for their future creation, which I think should come before the end of the year. I mean, the Kickstarter was earlier this year, so I'm guessing the deck should come before the end of the year, hopefully. I know a lot of us backed that second deck, so again, if you guys just type Bimit Big Mice Tarot, you'll be able to find the website. At some point, they had still pre-orders open for their first deck, but you might be able to get this one or their second one, whichever it is. In the cute deck category, of course, I have to talk about my Tarot Frogs deck by Nimbob. This one I found on Instagram at random. I found it on the creators page, so on Nimbob's page, who is a creator. I don't know if this deck is still in print, but this creator does stickers, and I think they do clothes and stuff that uses their super cute frogs. So even if you can't get the tarot deck, you should be able to find goodies with the same art style. And this one, as the name suggests, is a frog deck. Look at those backs. They are so extra. I love it. It's super blingy. It's super gold, in your face, bold. Even on the front, we have a ton of gold. So already, I love that. Super blingy. It's got froggies. Super cute. It's a very RWS coded deck. Again, feels very like RWS clone. And on top of that, the frogs have cute butts. So what's not to love, right? We have a ton of gold, super cute frogs, and cute butts. It's like just a joy. Another super joyful deck that I haven't talked a lot about on my channel. I mean, I've definitely shared it before, but it's not one I think I have shared a lot, because I feel like at some point I couldn't find if it was still in print or not, so I didn't want to give FOMO to people. But it's one I use quite a bit for myself. I really enjoy it. It's really fun, quirky in the best way, and I just adore these little froggies, right? It's really fun. Look at this fool, my favorite card of the deck. I think it's adorable with the mushroom hat. I can't. Very childlike in its energy, which is exactly what I need sometimes. It's very gold, I will say that, so depending on where you're reading, it might actually blind you. Beware. But if you are not in direct sunlight, it's a lot of fun. Not a huge fan of the box. I don't love those boxes that separate the decks into, because I'm a little bit dumb sometimes and I never know how to split things equally. But apart from that, it's an absolute joy. And again, I don't know if this deck is still in print, but if you like this art style, this creator does stickers and lots of other cute stuff, so definitely check it out. Let's continue with the Everybody Tarot. I shared you guys the Oracle in the Oracle category, so I have the matching tarot deck still by Sarah Caitlin. She is based in the UK, and you can get her decks directly on her website, sarahcaslin.com. All of her decks are super cute, but to me, the Everybody's Tarot is my favorite because it's super colorful and joyful. So you're gonna see here are the backs, and it's just a joy. It's so cute, so sweet. It reminds me of just childhood books again. I love the fact that it's a little bit more minimalistic. Sometimes I need that. Sometimes I love things that are very detailed and very busy, and sometimes I'm looking for decks that are a little bit more pared down, a little bit more straight to the point and minimalistic, and this one is definitely more so that. For those of you guys who don't like things with tons of details, but you're still looking for cuteness factors, this is fantastic. I love the bright colors, and it's just a joy. This one is a joy to read with. I mean, this might be one of my favorite sun cards ever. It's just so sweet, and my friends love this one. You know, I share my decks with my friends sometimes, not all the time because I get a lot and they're not really into tarot as much as I am anyway, but when I shared this one with them, they squealed. They thought it was the cutest thing ever. So it's interesting that this one seems to be a people pleaser in general. People tend to really love that one. Every time I share it, I get comments that it's just adorable and sweet and cute, and it is. You know, I really don't have anything bad to say about it. It's absolutely adorable, and again, I really enjoy Sarah's art style anyway. I know she's recently released a grief-inspired tarot deck, which sounded really great, but I prefer her more colorful stuff. But if you guys were looking for a grief-inspired tarot deck that has this kind of childlike quality to it, you might want to check out her work. Continuing with a true RWS clone, but giving super spring, cute, glittery vibes. This is the Spring Weight Tarot by Tarot Collectible. Sorry, I just had brain fog. Yeah, Tarot Collectible. They are based in the UK. They are indie-based company, and they focus on RWS clones, but with different themes. So they have the spring weight, they have the winter weight, they have the zombie weight, etc., etc. I love Tarot Collectibles decks. I have quite a few of them. This one is the cutest RWS I own. As you're gonna see, this is the Star Edition. Here are the backs. We have bunnies, as your name suggests, it's inspired by the spring season. So we have bunnies and bees and flowers, and I'm not filming in direct sunlight right now. Today is a little bit overcast, so you're not going to be able to see really the effect, but this actually is covered in glitter. So right now you can't see it, but when it's different light than it is today, it shimmers and sparkles and is super cute. Do this, you're going to see it is sparkly and beautiful, and it has this layer of effect on the card that makes this just a shimmering joy. You can get all of their decks with the sparkles or without. So if you don't like that effect, as it can be quite glossy and not everyone likes that, you can get it without that sparkly effect. But for the spring weight, I really wanted the sparkly effect because I thought it was just perfect, right, for this spring edition. And this is just a cute RWS because a lot of the people have wings and fairy wings and butterfly wings, and it's a lot of pinks and turquoise and blues. It's just really cute. I mean, you know, when it comes to a true RWS, meaning truly almost clone-like with art like Pamela Coleman-Smith's art style, this is probably my cutest one because of the bold colors. So if you guys are looking for something like that, like you want colorful, cute, but you still want that very traditional art style or that traditional interpretation of tarot, check out Tarot Collectible. Again, they have a lot of different themes. So that's the Spring Weight Tarot Stars Edition. Again, you can find all their stuff on Tarot Collectible. I have quite a few to share with you in future videos. Let's move on to a huge favorite this year. If you guys have watched any of my videos since the beginning of the year, you're not going to be surprised to see this deck here. Of course, I'm talking about the Forest Spirit Imprint Tarot. This is by US Star Wheel Game System. I backed this on Kickstarter, but you can now get it on their website directly. I'm already telling you, it's going to be part of my favorite decks of the year. I'm obsessed with it. I can't put it down. I've had it since the beginning of the year and I still love it just as much as the first day. We have a guidebook which is actually really good. Gives you a little bit of explanation as to the artistic choices on the card. In terms of the production quality, the cardstock is a little bit plasticky and very bendy. So I always point that out because I know not everybody loves that. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but if you don't like the feel of like plasticky cardstock, you won't like this one. Here are the backs, and we have beautiful green glittery sides, but it's not the kind that gets on your hands, thankfully, so we love to see that. It follows this little girl who has stepped into this magical world, and she is evolving in this world, discovering different part of the world. Again, the world building here is very interesting. Her exploring different part of the world, so you'll see that the cups feel very cohesive. It's part of this underwater world. For the pentacles, she's in this kind of like almost overhead garden kind of part of the world, and she often have little sprites or a little bird who is accompanying her as her familiar, which is adorable. This is one of those decks that is both cute and still impactful, as the harsher cards are still delivering. So again, I told you I really appreciate when a cute deck does that. I want my cute tarot decks to still feel like tarot, and this one does that beautifully. Fairies are adorable. The little bird who follows her in a lot of the cards are adorable. The little girl, I think, is really sweet, and this is just giving Studio Ghibli down, and I love that so much. You know, my inner child is squealing when I use this deck because it reminds me a lot of the animes, TV shows that I would watch when I was a child and still do to this day because I'm a big child at heart. I really adore this one so much. It's whimsical, it's magical, it's smart in its interpretation. It's absolutely beautiful. The art style I adore so much. I literally don't have anything bad to say about this one. I love it so much. I think it's one of my best decks I acquired this year. Kind of, you can tell stories with this deck. Look at it, how cute, so cute. Very childlike, and yet I think perfect for grown-ups as well, or big kids at heart like myself. It's just a joy, honestly. Again, yeah, I told you I'm obsessed. I don't have one bad thing to say, and this is absolutely in my top 5 when it comes to cute decks in my collection now. So that is the Forest Spirit Imprint Tarot. Again, you can get it straight from US Star Wheel website. Really gorgeous, and I'm so glad that it was released after the Kickstarter campaign, because a lot of people missed out on the Kickstarter and were kicking themselves, and have been able to get it afterwards, which is fantastic. I'm so happy people could get their hands on it, because honestly everyone deserves this deck in their life. And talking about US Star Wheel website, Mirasol and Casey of the Year Tarot Deck, longest name ever. Honestly, I will never remember the name of this deck, but it's super cute. Also, as you can see, by US Star Wheel. In this one, we follow Mirasol and Cassie, who are a little girl and her orange cat. We have a great guidebook in this one for each of the cards. It tells you a little bit about what's going on the card, in the sense of like artistic choices, and it's half in English and half in Chinese. This is very rooted in normal day-to-day life. You're gonna see, we see people going to work, and we see like the little girl playing and buying food, and you know, very rooted in modern day, but she's always with her little cat going on adventures, and it's super sweet. So if you guys like the idea of having a deck just like the one I showed you before, where you are following the same characters, kind of, where you are really immersed in the story, this one feels like that, as you're gonna see them throughout their years, when they first meet, and then when they're going on adventures together, even when the cat potentially passes away. There's a whole like storyline being told in this, which is so cute and so poignant and really sweet. So I've been really enjoying this one, and I think the art style is wonderful. So here we see, for example, when she picks the cat from the rescue center, it's really sweet. And yet again, another one that, whilst it's cute, it still delivers harsh truth, actually element based. So instead of sword, wands, cups, etc., we have water, air, but it follows tradition. So swords are air, wands are fire, etc., etc. This is a delight if you guys like cats, or you had a cat when you were younger, like me. I actually had an orange cat when I was little. This is a deck for you, to be honest, because it's a lot of joy. The colors are a little bit muted. I know on camera it feels bright, but it's not as bright. It feels a little bit more muted in real life, which I think gives this a very cozy vibe. I think this would be a great deck, you know, to do cozy readings with. I think if you are like you're getting under the blanket by a little fire, you have a cup of tea, and you're doing reading with this deck, it feels like a good time and definitely like a cozy little deck. I am starting to get super flared up, so we're gonna finish with the last deck. Is this all of my cute decks? I don't know. I might have forgotten some because, to be fair with you guys, again, I have a lot of decks, so it's possible I've forgotten some, but hopefully that's the main ones anyway. So the last deck I wanted to show is the Magical Arcana Tarot. Sadly, this is now out of print. It was printed in very small quantities. This is by Yena from Soul Shadow Tarot. I'm sharing with you all of my decks. Some of them are going to be out of print because I've been collecting decks for years. Hopefully you still enjoy seeing things for the joy of tarot. So here are the backs. This was created with the help of AI. And as you're going to see, it is adorable. I adore this kind of inspiration. I adore manga, anime kind of deck. You will have seen I have quite a few. I definitely have others in my collection that I'll share when I do my fantasy decks or my day-to-day decks that are maybe less cute, but fit other categories, but still giving that kind of art style, right? That is reminiscent to animes, things like that. This one though has a lot of cute cards, which is why I wanted to share it in this particular video. This is a deck I've used non-stop this year. It was very kindly sent to me by Yena, the creator, so thank you so much to her again. I absolutely adore it. I have used it non-stop. This is one of my most used this year. I'm obsessed with it. We need to find the tower because it's actually so cute. For one of my cutest tower cards, to be honest. Where is it? I think we've passed it. There we go. No. Look at the tower. Is this not the cutest tower card you've ever seen? Yeah, I'm happy to pull the tower with this deck. It's definitely cuter than all of my other tower cards in other tarot decks. So we're gonna finish on that. I want to say thank you so much to you guys for sticking by. I know this video is gonna be super long, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing all of my cute decks. Hopefully it brought some joy to your day. Thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know if you enjoy these collection videos. Let me know what theme you want me to do decks. Do you want me to do mythology decks? Do you want me to do nature decks? Do you want me to do historical decks? Do you want me to do modern deck? Do you want me to do fantasy decks? What else could I be doing? There's a lot of themes. Let me know the theme you guys from what I've said want me to do next, as it will help me, you know, figure out my content. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, I'm sending you so much good vibes and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!